Hello, hello, beautiful Love You Life show friends. Welcome to another episode. And together with me today, I have Lauren Ann, who is I like to call her the determined butterfly of butterfly transformations. I'm going to quickly do a little intro and then we're going to bring Lauren in. So she's an international speaker, sound healer, Reiki master. Is it Shizen master? Lauren?
Seishim
master. I'm going to be asking you about that as well. Life transform coach, emotional intuitive, transformation facilitator, animal communicator, embracer of the vulnerability superpower. I like that one. And joy and happiness activator. Lauren has traveled to the USA, Hawaii, and through Australia to transform the world, one beautiful butterfly at a time. Lauren is based in Canberra, Australia, and is the owner and creator of a very successful business called Butterfly Transformations. Lauren has been a speaker on the international spiritual radio shows, as well as appearing live on stage in her amazing live facilitation in Sedona, USA. She is a leader in embracing vulnerability and speaking her truth as her superpowers. So that's a pretty good one. I like those superpowers. Speaking your truth and embracing your vulnerability. She used her own vulnerability of her past trauma of sexual and physical abuse as a child to transform her life. Lauren holds a space of eternal love, angelic patience, understanding, and open arms to all those who have been abused, or for anyone who is craving to be free of past traumas, fears, and or depression, which she's experienced all of these and more. She is now leading others in their own unique transformation, returning you back to you, giving you the freedom to speak your own truth and discover your own unique superpowers. Lauren is also a leader in reawakening infinite joy and pure bliss on this planet. Lauren's infinite bliss and joyful beingness becomes an instant activation for anyone in her presence. Lauren's joy and laughter is a perfect energetic activation to embrace and reawaken your own pure bliss, joy, and happiness, which is the most natural states of being. She'll teach you practical tools on how to maintain your own joy and happiness in every aspect of your life, no matter what shows up in your life. Thank you, Lauren. Wow, welcome to the Love Your Life show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And I'm just checking. It's a pleasure. We have got a bit of a delay. Everyone who might be watching live, I'm not sure how this is going to come in the post-production when it's actually posted. But just in case you're wondering, we have got a few people who are starting to come in and into the show, into the chat box. Please, if you want to say hi, just type in the chat to say hi, Bev, hi, Lauren. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask those questions in the chat that we can ask Lauren as well. So that's really exciting, isn't it? Lauren.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yes. And our theme for today's show is your authentic vulnerability as a gift to love and life, and being able to, open up your vulnerability, your authentic vulnerability to live in your infinite joy and bliss and all of those kinds of things. Tell us a little bit about, you speak about, well, obviously in your bio, there's a lot about your trauma, and I know personally some of the trauma because you've obviously been in touch with me a bit. What can you share with people around what has brought you to this point where you decided, right, it's time to do this now. It's time to step into this power and actually transform the world?
Yes, of course. So, as I said in my bio, I was abused as a child. I was raped, physically abused, close to death. And I spent basically my entire life in a deep depression, wanting more in my life. And I had this determination in my heart, this knowing that there was something more. And I was searching and searching and searching till I found what I was looking for, and a way to release myself from that past trauma, to embrace the natural beingness of joy and love and pure bliss. So, yeah.
That's really cool. And so you've spoken about being vulnerable and being able to share your vulnerability. How has this helped you in, coming out of your cocoon? How has it been a real amazing tool for you to be able to step into more of your own brilliance?
Wow. I mean, stepping into my vulnerability been able to just really just feel the pain, the sadness, the everything that I'd been through in a place of safety was I can't find the words how to explain it. It's so amazing and oh yes. I am so grateful to be that vulnerable, to be honest. And again, it's like, it's not stepping into vulnerability of getting abused again. It's stepping, being in that safety zone of so much love and grace and just being able to just be held by the angels and to know that you're safe, to be held by God, to be held by love itself, and have every single cell of your body return to love. Yes. It is amazing.
I love that little giggle that you bring at the end. When you have this huge big epiphany, you're like, yeah, that was it. And then you have this giggle and you're like, that was it. I did it. I brought it through. So
yes.
Yes. And I mean, the wonderful thing about you, Lauren, is like your joy just literally jumps through. The energy just comes through so easily. I mean, just breathing that in and just going, oh, yes, we can all have that amount of joy in our lives and we can all experience it, that even though we've had huge, huge traumas. And I know that some of the trauma that you've been through has been really, really quite deep and intense.
Yeah, it has. Very deep and intense. But, this is just to prove to like everyone that doesn't matter what you've been through or what you're still going through, that joy is accessible to you right now in this moment. Despite what happened to me in the past, I'm happy. Would you be willing to step into your own happiness, even if you have no idea what it looks like? To just sit down right now in this moment, take a deep breath in, and tap into that divine being that is your soul. Tap into that beautiful, natural state that your soul has of joy, the pure bliss. Yeah, that's it. Take a deep breath in. Repeat after me. I am happy.
I am happy. And anyone who's watching, you can obviously share with us as well. Please say this after me and with us so that we can all do it together.
I am happy.
I am happy.
I deserve to be happy.
I deserve to be happy.
I am happy despite my past.
I am happy despite my past.
Take a deep breath in. Just allowing that joy to come through your body. And know that if you do start feeling sad, that it's perfectly okay. That what's happening is all that old past, all that old skin is being shed. Yeah. Beautiful.
And so is that what it feels like when you come out of your cocoon? That past cocoon is being shed, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the when you do come out of that cocoon, when all the emotions have been shed, this joy, this pure bliss of joy, and it can come out in so many different ways. It can come out in laughter, just a smile, this peace. Everyone expresses it differently. I express it differently in each moment. Sometimes I'm laughing my head off. Other moments I'm just in this quiet, pure bliss of peace. And so it's perfectly normal it is perfect. Would you be willing to accept, no matter how your joy is expressed, would you be willing to accept your joy as you? Yeah.
That's
your
beautiful.
joy is perfect.
And so, with what you're doing at the moment, are you obviously involved in coaching and in? Tell us a little bit about what you're playing with at the moment. What programs or what coaching or what are you doing at the moment with your business? With because I know that you do a lot of different things. So I'd love for you to share what all of those beautiful things are that you give to this beautiful planet.
Yeah, so I do one-on-one coaching sessions, and I bring in you basically into my world, and I take you on a journey that's personalized to you. If you have something in particular in your life that is holding you back from being that joy that you've always known was possible, or even if you didn't know it was possible, that is something you want in your life. I've got these beautiful tools and strategies that I've used in my life for 2.5 years now, and it has brought me into so much joy, and I want you to have it too. I want you to be happy, to know that you are joy, to know that you are loved, to know that you are pure bliss despite anything that has happened in your life.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you do those private coaching sessions with people, and then they obviously come and give you a call and find out how they can get into that bliss themselves, and you guide them with these processes.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So, yeah, contacting me either by phone or by email, and I'll be able to respond and organise to see if, this is a perfect fit. I'm happy to have a chat with you to see, what you want to talk about and go from there.
And so, as you've been this journey now over the last 2.5 years, what has been the most profound part about where you felt you had the biggest amount of transformation in the shortest amount of time?
Wow.
And what was the experience that you had? So what has there been any specific thing that's come about where you've been like, wow, that really rocked my world? That was really one of the biggest pieces that I've overcome in a lot of my life. What is that specific time? Have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah, well, a number of those circumstances have happened a lot. The first time I experienced that was November last year. I was in a class with Rika Zimmerman, and we're in her amazing Life Transform class. And she took me through a forgiveness process with my father, who had abused me. And I, put my hand up asking this question of, I'm stuck. I don't know how to forgive this person for hurting me. Within 20 minutes, I was laughing. My heart just expanded in so much love. I could see and feel and know that this experience, this is being abused at that age, was something that he and I, before we came into Earth, agreed to. And I know that's something that's extremely hard to comprehend. But in that process, it was just so much love, so much, releasing all those layers, like we were talking about before, just releasing those layers, just letting it go, just feeling through everything, feeling how hurt I was, feeling how betrayed I was. by releasing all those pent-up emotions is what led me to that expansion, that realization, that knowing that I agreed with my father before we came here to earth that I would go through this. I didn't remember this, obviously, at that age, but I agreed to go through what I went through because there are so many people in this world who have been abused as a child, who have been raped, regardless of what age. It's 1 in 4 in Australia of women who have been raped. I personally think it's a higher percentage. But that is an alarming number. And my soul agreed with God to come onto this earth and serve and show the way, be the leader in walking that warlike path. And anyone who has been abused, regardless of what circumstances, will know it feels like a war zone.
Mm.
And that there is a pathway out of that war zone.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you've walked that pathway out of that war zone. So people who still feel like they're in that war zone, you can say, take my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to go to help you to get out of this.
Yes.
And
exactly.
I mean, being abused by your father, I mean, also including the sexually abused, that's quite a big one to kind of reveal, you know, because a lot of us, people don't want to talk about this kind of thing. And I know a friend of mine who said that, you know, she was abused by her uncle. And when she shared it at the dinner table, she was told by her father, you've just ruined a perfectly good Sunday lunch.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's like, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is that, you know, this kind of being sexually abused is just not talked about. And, you know, when I 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, I started revealing to my family or to certain family members and my friends that I had been abused.
And you had full memory of it growing up, right? You had full memory of it.
Totally.
You remembered
full
every
memory of it. Yeah, I remember that, particularly that first event, and I was 2 years old. I remember every single detail of what happened to me. I remember nearly dying in a bathtub because he tried killing me in that bathtub. And yeah, we'll take a deep breath on that one. Whew, it's a lot of energy, right? Yeah. So, you know, this energy, all these traumas and stuff that get trapped in our system end up holding us back from feeling that love, you know, because I don't know about you guys, but I suppress myself. I shut off every single emotion. The older I got, the more emotion I shut down. And I would explode in anger.
I couldn't imagine you without all this joy that I just see all the time. So like, tell us a little bit about, I mean, what kind of person were you? Because I mean, there are people out there that may look and go, that was me, because they look at you now and they go, I can't be like that. But if they don't know where you've been, then they don't know, oh, what's possible for them. So, I mean, give us an example of how you were growing up. What was it like?
Yeah, so I had to protect, you know, my parents separated when I was about 10 years old, and no one knew that I'd been abused, so I had to keep going to his house. I had to find ways to keep myself safe. Going horse riding was a huge one of those things, is what, you know, I would find ways to keep myself safe. And go into relationships to have a boyfriend that I didn't particularly like. Some of them I did. It depends on the person. But I felt I was trying to find ways to keep myself safe, trying to find relationships to hide myself in, or just I was shy. Like, I wasn't this expressive, joyful, bounding. The only time I would let that kind of behavior out, or my natural being out, was when my friends were drunk, because no one would know. No one. For me, it was what made me feel safe. If everyone else was being happy, it was safe for me to be happy. Before I went through all this transformation, I was very depressed. I didn't want to spend any time with anyone. I shut myself off from a number of friends, including people I really liked, like boyfriends. I shut them off, would shut off all emotions. And although, all the partners I have had in the past, I really cared about them, but I couldn't be with them. I had to keep my heart safe. How many of you at the moment feel like you have to keep yourself safe and shut off your emotions from your friends, your family, your partners? Yeah.
Yep. Well, can I share something more personal with you, Lauren? And I'm just going to say this off the record. I might cut this out. I might not. I might decide to leave it in, but I might even just decide to cut this little piece out. But we'll see. Is because this is the first time I'm saying this, and I'm not even 100% sure of it because my memory is not there. But I did muscle testing that I was also sexually abused by my father before the age of 4 years old, because my mother divorced him when I was 4, and he was also an alcoholic and into drugs and into all sorts of things. And I did muscle testing that it happened on a numerous amount of times. And obviously, I don't have any memory of it, so I never thought it happened. There's no memory. You go, well, it didn't happen. But my body was saying something completely different. Yeah. And in relationship, it would get to a certain point, and then I'd go, I couldn't go deeper than that point. And I would distract myself, or, go do something else, or just not be present, or delve myself into work, or, I could be happy and bubbly in certain spaces, but then when I felt like my safety was threatened, I would retreat. So that, and I think also sometimes with the joy energy, because we have so much of this joy. I mean, I've always been a very joyful person, just like you. That's why I feel such a resonance with you all the time, is being such a joyful person, it's kind of sexy in a way. There's this, it's a creative energy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it can be misconstrued as, you're being friendly, you're being bubbly like you are to everyone, and you just want to love and hug everyone. And some people take that as, oh, wow, she's making a pass at me, or she's interested. Meanwhile, you don't have that going through your head. It's like not even a thought.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, joy is made into this such a sexual energy, and for someone who has been abused, it's like, it's not safe to be that joyful, that someone's gonna think I'm coming onto them, or that I want to take things further in a relationship and not being ready to actually take that step. And it's yeah, I totally get it. Yeah,
it's like, it's very, and it's very it's a little bit scary, because like we were speaking, like the body remembers the trauma. Our body always remembers, right?
Yeah.
So I remember when there's a YouTube video that you've got. Is your YouTube video still out there? The video that you did when you spoke in Sedona, that talk that I was at, where
that's on.
The way that you explain that in such graphic detail, and I could understand what you were saying there, because I've had that experience. Like during intercourse, you spoke about feeling like razor blades, and I understood that. I understood what that felt like. I could understand. Like, I went, wow, she knows what that. She's also had that experience, and it made me go, hold on a second, wait a minute. And so it's only in this year that I've also had the awareness of what has happened to me. And it only started to unravel after I said, I'm going to forgive my father for anything and everything he did. Yeah. And when I truly did choose to forgive, then all of this other stuff started to come and be shown to me. And I was like, whoa. And it's like, could you forgive for this? Could you forgive for this? Could you forgive for this? And so that's an interesting piece there. I want to offer this is for anyone who might be watching this is, you might have these weird things where you think, is there something wrong with me? But maybe you just don't have a memory of something having happened. And I used muscle testing myself. I know you had full memory of it, which is like incredible. And were there times when you passed out? Were there times when you had experiences and you would pass out?
Well, look, I mean, I was abused for a number of years, you know, between 2 and 5, and I only remember the first one and a couple of the others, but not to the great detail that I remember in the first account. And, you know, there were years and stuff that I, you know, anytime the memory would come up, it was like, no, push it down. I don't want to see it. You know, it was just too much. But, you know, it just got to a point where I had suppressed it so much. You know, if you push too much in a box, it's just eventually going to just start exploding out. And that's just what happened with me, just all these flashbacks, memories, and, you know, nightmares of what had happened, you know, particularly in a relationship, you know, when someone would, you know, start getting intimate, and it was like, you know, that memory of my father on me, or that, you know, just the muscle, the touching, or, you know, the muscle memory, you know, it's so, your body remembers so much more than, you know, you may be aware of. Like, how many of you have been in a relationship and had that sensation of get off me? Yeah, it's full on. It's, yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. And the thing is, when you say that, I think that every woman sometimes has that experience.
Oh, totally.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, every woman who hasn't been sexually abused, do they have those kind of experiences? Or is it only women who've had kind of sexual abuse experiences where they have that happening? You know?
Yeah.
It's interesting to know what that looks like, because we're opening a whole different thing here.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I know people who haven't been sexually abused but have that fear of opening up their sexuality, and, you know, which then ties in with their joy and their, you know, expressing themselves, and that you know, it's such a vulnerable state to be in when you are expressing your sexuality, you know, whether it is, you know, with your partner, or, you know, being joyful, you know. If you have those layers of stuff that have held you back, that have traumatized you for being joyful. Whenever joy comes up, you don't want to be joyful, right?
Because it's dangerous. Because joy means danger, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Joy, sexual energy equals danger, is what the mind is saying, is what that trauma is telling you, is what you have learnt from that trauma. So in order to keep yourself safe, you have created layers and layers and layers and layers of walls to cut off those emotions. But the only way to really step into that joy, to allow yourself to feel safe, is by being in that safe space with, you know, angels holding you in that space, and allowing those wrap fly out from out of you. Is it an easy process? No. it takes such determination and such strength and courage, and anyone who has actually taken those steps to, you know, regardless of what you've been through, you are so brave. And thank you so much, Bev, for sharing your story and, you know, sharing with everyone, you know, what you went through as well.
This is the first time I've said it publicly. So I've told a few people where it came, I had an awareness of it, but there's a part of me that's still doubting it. So that's why I don't feel like, you know, because there's this thing about telling the truth that we say, oh God, like, how can I say such an awful thing? You know, because I don't have a memory of it. So, you know, and it's very possible that as young children, you pass out. I mean, I've had someone say to me, well, it happened to me. I used to pass out and I didn't know anything. And, you know, the only way that I got some more details was by doing muscle testing and asking my body and, you know, asking these questions. And, and also for my husband to be saying to me, come back to where you are now. We're here, we're present. It's okay. You know, so it also helps you with being in a loving relationship. It helps for you to be able to bring down that vulnerability and bring down those walls without feeling like the other person is judging you. Because I think that's what you go to, right?
Totally. And, you know, just on the what you brought up with not knowing whether you're telling the truth or not. I went to, although I remembered it, I myself felt like I was lying, and I know I'm not. I know it definitely happened, but, you know, my dad, you know, drilled it in my head, you know, yelling at me, you know, it never happened. It's your fault. You're the one to blame, you know. How many of you have had that experience too, where, you know, you were blamed for so much that you believed that it was your fault? And it is not your fault. It never was your fault. You know, they're basically, that the perpetrator has no idea how to hold on to so much yucky energy that they blame it on you. And you're not to blame. Like, you never did anything wrong. Doesn't matter whether you were joyful, too sexual, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter what you were wearing, you know. It was never your fault. And this the processes of that I went through, where, you know, at starting this journey, I blamed myself for everything that happened to me. And I was very frightened of actually speaking publicly because I didn't know how people would respond. And it's not to say that you have to also share your story publicly. So I was guided to share my story publicly, and I think Bev was guided as well and to share as well.
Yeah.
But Bev and I are sharing our story to inspire you in what's possible. To sharing your story in a safe environment, whether it's, you know, with a counsellor or, you know, with a life coach, or, you know, it's basically finding that support for yourself in what you've been through.
And I feel that a big part of the healing for me has been my choice to say, I'm going to forgive. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to forgive.
Yes.
I'm going to forgive myself for thinking that I in any way caused it. I'm going to forgive my father for what he did in his space of unawareness, you know, his space of low consciousness, that he must have been in a really deep, dark space that felt so separated and so alone and so much in pain to do that. Like, I think it's taken that a while for me to be able to get to my space in my life where I could have that kind of, even if it's called maturity, I don't know what it's called. And that's what I mean, I look at you and I go, God, you're like, you're 23, what, 24 now?
24, nearly
24.
25, yeah.
I mean, for you to be able to hold that amount of emotion and love for yourself, that you can go through all that emotional trauma and come out the other end and still say, this is who I am. You know, that speaks volumes. That is so courageous. And it's really wonderful that you can be a kind of model or a kind of role model or a something that people can look up and say, wow, you know, she can do that. So can I. This is the whole reason why I have this show, is to bring people like yourself out of the woodwork and go, I had this experience. This is what happened to me. And you sharing your message helped me to share mine.
Yeah.
You see what this is how beautiful this is because now we can look and say, wow, she went through it. The things that she's feeling, okay, there's not something wrong with me. Look where she's at. Look how she's able to experience life now. And now she's actually able to help other people as well who have been through that same experience. So like, wow. I mean, I just have so much admiration for you, Lauren.
Thank you, Bev. And yes, you know, it is such an honor to be in that stage where I can serve others who have been through that trauma. And, you know, regardless whether you've already sought help from someone else or just starting out, you know, it doesn't matter where you are on your journey. I've been at least on that journey somewhere with you at some point in my life, and you're not alone. And it is my soul's journey I was asked by God to go through what I went through to come out the other side and, like Bev said, you know, be that leader in this is how you get out. Would you be willing to get out of where you are now?
Yes.
Regardless of where you are. To take that first step in wherever you are now. Doesn't matter where I am or where Bev is or where someone else is, where you are now. Where are you now? Would you be willing to take that first step in choosing? And it is a choice to choose what you want to do. Would you be willing to stay stuck in that life of having everything hold you back, where relationships are limited, your career is limited, money's limited, everything's limited? Or would you like to expand and grow and know that anything is possible despite what you went through? Despite anyone who says that you can't be happy after abuse, they're lying. They are lying. Or they have no idea how. I do.
Yes.
Would you be willing to know too?
Yes, I'm saying yes for everyone who's too shy to say yes.
Yes. I'll say it too. Yes.
Yes. Wow, so much power and so much energy in what you just said there. It's just, and it's not only for people who have had traumatic experiences happen, but anyone who's had really painful experiences happen. It's, you know, it's about choice. It's choice.
Yeah, totally. And exactly, it's all about, comes to choice, regardless what you've experienced in your life, whether it was abusive or not. It all comes down to choice. What do you choose? Do you choose to stay where you are now or expand? And I choose expanding, obviously, because it makes me more happy. So, of course, would you be willing to be more happy? I do.
I love it. Oh, it feels so good. So, oh wow. I just want to sit with this bliss that I'm feeling right now. It's like, yes, please, I'll have some of this. And so just a quick one here while we're just having a little ad break. Just to check, if you're in the room, I can see there's some people here, but nobody's saying anything. So just say they're in the room, just say hi. And we'd love to hear from you. Ask a question if you feel you'd like to ask a question. Also, if you want to get a hold of Lauren directly, she is on Facebook with Lauren.butterflytransformations. So you can go check that out there. And Lauren.butterflytransformation@gmail.com is also her email address. That's Lauren, LAUREN .butterflytransformation@gmail.com. And then the Facebook is Lauren, Facebook /Lauren.butterflytransformations.com. Just the butterfly transformations after the /. So that if you're wondering if you'd like to get in touch with her, that's a quick and easy way to get in touch with her. And she'll be able to do some fun stuff with you there, which is pretty cool. So, wow, this has been a really amazing opening, and I love how you've allowed me to be vulnerable now too. And it's this magical thing that you happen to have where you just have such a sweet, beautiful energy that people go, oh, I'm safe with this person. And it's wonderful that you can create that safety energy around you, that people just feel like they can undo themselves and they're not going to be judged by it. So, yeah, it's wonderful.
Thank you. And it is true that this is, the space that I channel through and open up to, it is a place of no judgment, regardless of what you've been through, we're all uniting in the name of love to open ourselves up to more love, to joy, to all those natural states of being. That's what, God has always intended for us.
Mm-hmm.
What love has always intended for us is to be in that natural state of being. Depression, PTSD, abuse is not a natural state of being.
Mm-hmm.
And it is it brings me such joy actually seeing more joy being opened up in people, and, that vulnerability, because I know that vulnerability opens up to that joy. Bev was a perfect example of, how much she's just opened up just in the chat we've had today. And it's such an honor to be a part of that, of opening up. It's perfect.
And learning that it's okay to be raw and real, and it's okay to just be in our humanness, because there's so much stuff going on I think, me personally, I feel that every single person on this planet has had some form of trauma or abuse or pain or suffering at some point in their lives, because we're in the human story.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure it's happened somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we're here to move through, is to clear it all out and say, cool, we're here to be in our brightest light,
Mm-hmm.
And this light above me looks like I'm glowing here, because it's getting darker outside. So I'm like, okay, I've got perfect lighting, right? And then the light starts getting dark outside, and it starts getting brighter and brighter. I'm like, what's going on there? I'm like, white it out. Even with this white top, I'm like, damn, girlfriend. It's bright light. Here we go. Better. There we go. Nothing I can do about it. You made me glow, Lauren.
Glowing, everyone. This is what happens when you go through a transformation. You glow.
I love it. Wow. That's so cool. So you've got some. Are you going to be doing any courses or workshop at any point in time in the next year?
Yes. So It's still in the production stages, but I'm intending on doing a live transform class with my lovely co-worker Sandy. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, that's still in the production stages. So if you want to know more, I will be posting stuff on my Facebook page, or you can send me an email if you want me to email you directly when these details come out. I've also been in the process of creating an amazing support group for people who've been abused, and I'll be doing live Facebook Live once a month, so you can all ask questions and get that support that you need. And it's going to be a closed group, so I've actually already got it created. So if you go to my Facebook page, it's under the groups, or you can send me an email, and yeah, I can get you sorted with that. So yeah, I'll be starting that process next year, which I'm so excited by. Yes.
That's awesome.
And I'll be in the process of also creating a personalized package deal. But that's still in the making, so haven't got a name for that just yet. But yeah, in the next couple of months, I'll be posting it on my Facebook page. So yeah, if you are interested in finding out how I went from depression and PTSD and all those stuck emotions to being the joy that I am, and now teaching others to step into their vulnerability and their joy.
Mm-hmm.
Please let me know and let's play.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm just going to give that your name. Actually, if this is on YouTube, you'll be seeing the details below. But just in case, it's lauren.butterflytransformation with no S @gmail.com. That's the email. And Facebook would be facebook.com/lauren.butterflytransformations. And that's how you would get hold of her there. So, Lauren, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today. I've had so much fun, and I've unraveled and revealed things about myself that I didn't know I was going to do. So just guys, if you want to be vulnerable in front of a group or being seen live, then just make sure that you do a one-on-one with her instead of my suggestion, that's all. Thank you so much, Lauren, for being on the show. I really, really, really appreciate you with all your love.
Thank you so much, Bev, for having me on the show. It's been such an honour to be with you and to be part of your opening to the public. And thank you for being that example for everyone that's watching. And I honour you for being so brave and just sharing your story. Yep.
Thank you. And we honor everyone who's watching that is so brave to go and share your story now and open up to, let yourself be heard, because this is part of growing with this throat chakra of ours and allowing ourselves to be heard. It's a very big part of our healing. It's really a big piece. So go for it. Don't be shy with who you are. And we've just had a few people join the room now. So if you are here, you can give us a quick hello. I think very strange. Sometimes we have a show and there's 10 people, 15 people, 20 people on the call and nobody says anything. And then there's ones where it's 5 or 1, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, hi. So you never know what you're going to get. Although we know that we're sharing this with the world and we're opening up for anyone who feels they would love to be a part of this. Obviously, just a little bit on the Love Your Life show. We have these shows weekly. So if you want to find out more about the Love Your Life show, go to facebook.com/Love Your Life Show, or we've got loveyourlifeshow.com. It's there as well. Then obviously Love Your Life Show on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to the channel, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. You're wonderful to have you staying with us. And we obviously also have you can subscribe on the mailing list as well if you want to find out about the newest interviews that have just come out. And the whole vision with the Love Your Life show, as I said before, is about sharing people's inspiring love stories. So if you know someone, or you are someone who'd love to share your inspiring love story, your story of loving yourself, of going through that hero's journey and learning how to love yourself, please contact us. Let me know. Email is loveyourlifeshow@gmail.com. And I think we are about on time, Lauren. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing these amazing gifts that you're going to be bringing to the world, and watch the space.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So thank you, Lauren. Have a wonderful Christmas, everyone, and Lauren and the whole world. And we will see you again in the next show. So as always, remember, yes, mwah. Mwah. Remember to love your magical, magical, wonderful, wonderful, joyful, joyful life.